I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
I've been, yeah. This is the Black Country Blokes, doing the fact about everything that is men's mental health, disability, and life in general. Here, me, Kev Dillon, and my partner in crime, as always, Lee Cadman. And we're joined by my good mate, Harry. Harry, first of all, brother, thank you ever so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
But as always, we're going to start with our gratitude list. And I've always got loads to be grateful for. I was invited into Eon the other day talking about men's mental health. Fantastic. Spreading the word. And I got to see one of my all-time hip-hop idols, Nas, Wolverhampton Civics, and me, my beautiful wife, and Quinta went to see it, and he played all the classics. Who'd have thought it'd been 30 years since Illmatic. So it's absolutely fantastic seeing an idol. Lee, what are you grateful for, brother?
Well, I've got to mention the King's Award again, haven't I? It's been, was it last week or the week before, wasn't it? Yeah, and we won the King's Award, and yeah, I appreciate the support and all the well wishes that everyone's give us since it.
Thank you to Josh, Andy Mullaney, and Adam Davis for our nomination.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate it.
By the way, guys, my voice sounds a bit crappy. It's I've got that lurgy that's going around at the moment. Take everyone off their feet.
Passing it to me and Harry today.
Oh, that's it. Harry, what are you grateful for, brother?
I'm grateful for my beautiful girlfriend, my family, and my two kittens who are grown up. Very lovely. So yeah, a bit wholesome. But yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
What's your cat's called again?
So the boy has got a normal name. Obviously my girlfriend named him. He's called Chunk. Oh, Arlo, sorry. And I named the girl Chunk.
Chunk.
I didn't name her on the basis that she was going to be chunky. She's got very big. So yeah, Arlo and Chunk.
She grew into her name.
She grew into her name literally, but we're putting her on a diet now. She's gone a bit too far with that name.
Well, Harry's going to be talking today about, I mean, it's something we're talking. I've known Harry from up here, and he was talking about eczema and his reaction to steroid cream, and it's something I'd never heard of. And funny enough, I was talking to someone else, and it's more common than I ever believed.
Yeah.
So just tell us about it, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, so I can go into more detail about like my background and, you know, growing up with eczema, but eczema is very common in general. Just, you know, like you might have your kids go through it as well, in kind of what in infancy kind of thing, and it's just you're told to put on hydrocortisone, which is a steroid cream. You can get it over the counter, stuff like that. And typically eczema it should go in adults when you're probably like a teenager, something like that. For some people, it remains and it can be severe. So it's a bit of a spectrum in terms of how bad you get eczema.
Is it normally brought on by anything, or is it genetic?
It can be, yeah, no. So a lot of it is to do with genetics. I was trying to, you know, think back to my family and who had it in my family, and nothing really came up. However, there was like a lot of allergies, stuff like that. So my sister had really bad asthma as a kid. She, I don't know what they call it, but she was in hospital like really poorly one Christmas when I was younger. And we both got like hay fever, general stuff like that. She had eczema as well. That's gone. And mine kind of continued throughout school, stuff like that. So I kind of thought I was always that one kid that if it was in, you know, summer or something and you'd be really hot, like I'd have eczema just like a bit on my inner arms, and I'd wear like long polos. If we were wearing shorts, I'd try not to wear shorts because of the back of the knees. It wasn't awful, but it was very like I knew my skin was different to other people, and
you're just conscious about it.
Yeah, I was just self-conscious about it, definitely. But I grew out of it. I grew out of it very early. I mean, just looking back at my kind of, I got a full doctor's report on every prescription I've ever had in my life, which you can pull. if anyone is interested from NHS, stuff like that. So you got this when you were like 3, and it can be interesting if you've just to see what medication you've been on, what your mum and dad gave you when you were younger. But I mean, I had really good skin for the best part of 6 years, like perfect skin for me, where eczema, anything like that wasn't an issue. And everything really crept up just before lockdown. So kind of 2019, stuff like that. And just to preface it, the way it started was I noticed that I was going to the gym quite a lot. I was in the best kind of condition I've been in. But I realised, like, when I was sweating after the gym, I would go into like a bit of a frenzy. Like the sweat would like burn my skin, and I'd need to like scratch it, stuff like that. And I just thought, okay, that's just probably sweat. Your adrenaline's going. It's pretty normal. Your cortisol goes up. And then it led into kind of, it was kind of manageable. Like it wasn't I was using steroid cream sparingly, but I used a very potent one called Elicon, which is like very potent in terms of the scale of steroid cream that you get. You got hydrocortisone, which is your lowest that you might have given to your kids like in the past, or you've had, and then you've got Elicon, which what I was using. So that's for more stubborn eczema that kind of won't just disappear, or it's continual. And it all came to a head basically in 2021.
Was it isolated to an area by that stage?
It was kind of like just in there on my wrists a bit, but the big mistake that I did, and there wasn't really enough warning from doctors about how detrimental it is to do it, but I was putting it on my face as well. So I used to get patches there. I was putting it on my eyelids, and you know how thin your eyelids are, to put on quite a strong steroid cream, right? And the doctor would just say, use this for 4 weeks or until healed. Try not to use it on your face. It wasn't like a big issue. It was just like, oh no, you shouldn't really use it on your face.
It was not a must not.
No, it wasn't like if you use it on your face, this will happen. There was no consequences of what I was doing. It was just, like, don't take one too many allergy pills, for instance. Well, if your allergy's bad, you probably take 2, for instance, without knock-on effects. So, yeah.
And then that was in 2021. So that's after, so we went into lockdown in
lockdown
20, and it was 2021 that it flared up. What do you think about it? Because I don't know anything about it. Had you had the vaccinations?
Yeah.
Was it made worse, in your opinion?
It was made worse, and I'm not one to even start with that conversation. Like, I had 2-3 jabs, whatever the limit was, and up to a point where I thought, okay, what's actually going on? It was a really weird year in general. 2021 is probably when I started boxing as well, which is great. I was in the best shape of my life. I was gymming 5 days a week, really confident, going out every weekend, doing all the usual stuff after lockdown. Obviously, we've been kept in like caged animals. So it's one of the best years I've had. So many things happened in that period. So towards the latter end of 2021 is when I met my beautiful girlfriend, Jem, who I've been with for 3 years now. And we instantly hit it off, and I basically moved into a flat in Birmingham, but I worked in Stourbridge. And you can imagine the commute in the morning, so I was just doing it totally backwards, which I was happy to do. At the same time, financial struggles, stuff like that. When I'm out of the house that I've been in for, apart from uni and dipping in and out of areas, for 20 years in my parents' house. So I've properly moved out now. Financial struggles, obviously bills, and start paying bills properly. My granddad passed away into the following year, and obviously I'd had the jabs as well, so it was all this, and a new job as well, so it was like
Very stressful times.
your main stresses, right? So like I think your biggest 3 stresses are having a kid, moving house,
Changing jobs,
and a new job. Add to that a family member dying. So it was a lot in a compact 6 months.
And a lockdown.
And the lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that created a lot of stress that I didn't know. That was just kind of because I was really happy with my girlfriend in a new relationship that I was kind of masking over.
Yeah.
That I wasn't dealing with or anything like that. I was still going to the gym, but that was slowing down, as you know, when you get in a relationship. That type of things, that sort of takes a step back. But that was really good. The boxing, the gym, which I slowed down, was good for my mental health. So that was slowing down. Got the jab a couple of times as well. With the stress, I was putting on more cream, and it was just like, yeah, this is fine, doing the job. Got the jab, I think, near the start of January 2022. Went into a massive body flare.
Yeah.
I was really poorly, and it wasn't flu, it wasn't COVID, it was just skin. It was just really bad skin. Like, imagine whatever my face looks like now, but full red.
Really?
Like sunburn.
and that was
Yeah. That calmed down. And so that calmed down, but during that time, the start of 2022, is when I got a full body rash the month after, and I've got photos and stuff, but I've never had anything like it. And I remember being at work and I was thinking, like, my hair's like falling out, and I've got loads of skin in my hair. My face was fully flushed, been patches. My back was covered in like pimples almost, but like just covered.
Was it painful?
It was itchy to start with. The pain comes later,
but all that affects things like your sleep, and you're not sleeping, so you're trying to get through the day without sleep, which is stressful.
100%. So that happened right on that day that I came back from work, and I was thinking, oh, I'm really stressed. This is stress. I know this is stress. And it got worse, and it kept getting worse to the point that I was calling in sick to work. And as you said about sleep, which I'll come on to a bit later, but no sleep, pure insomnia, and that sends you absolutely crazy. So I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was happening. I was texting my mom, like, my skin's gone really bad, I don't know what's going on. And I just kept saying, I think it's just stress. I think it's, or maybe something I've eaten that I've had a reaction to. But it didn't. It carried on to the point that I had to go to a private dermatologist who probably did the worst thing and put me in this situation that I'm in now. He gave me something called prednisolone or prednisone, which is the strongest steroids you can get, but oral tablets. So whatever I was doing topical cream, that was now systemic in my system.
So the thing that you're having a reaction to by rubbing on your screen was now actually in your system as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Going around the blood, going around the whole body. That worked like a dream for about a month, because it's kind of like suppressing it in a way. It's a band-aid. Think of it like a band-aid. You've got like a massive open wound. Put this band-aid, that sorted it for a bit. but it's not healing underneath. I was on that 3 times, 3 lots of rounds, and nothing was happening. I can remember going to the private derm. I was like, it's come back after 2 weeks now, and you have to taper off prednisolone. This is what they give to people who have cancer. It's a cancer drug. Really? I was given a cancer drug for my skin, which is quite insane. So much money was spent at the private derm, like over like 1,200, 1,500 quid as well for 3 or 4 visits. I can remember at one point he just said, "Have you got scabies?" I was like, "Absolutely not." He was like, I said, "Have you got any recommendations?" Like, I'm at wit's end here. Like, I can't work. I can't sleep. He's like, "Just have you tried eating oranges?" And I thought I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like a private derm. I'm like paying you 240 quid to say that. Like, you know, it's so degrading. But to get to where it kind of flipped and what I've got now and what I'm going through. So that period was topical steroid addiction, when think of it like any addict, you are addicted to that certain substance, whether it be alcohol, heroin. What I'm in now is called topical steroid withdrawal. So you stop everything, but you withdraw from that. And you know the implications of withdrawing from, if there's an alcoholic, a heavy alcoholic, a heavy heroin user, any drug user, anything, to withdraw comes hell, basically. So that's when I did Googling, learned a lot about people online who I was just typing in red skin. I was having months off work, you know, no sleep, insomnia for the best part of 2 months. I was going to bed at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. So I'd been up all night, sitting there, scratching everything. And then I'd go to sleep 9:30 till 12 midday. So I'd get 3 hours every day. And that's when I learned that this is a steroid cream, this is oral steroids. The only way is to stop everything.
So when you say addicted, you like an alcohol addiction, you had to put that on you, or you couldn't get through the day, kind of.
Yeah. So not mentally thinking, I wasn't like, oh, I need,
I need that fix. It was more like,
it wasn't a fix. It was. I know this works. I've been told this works. My skin is addicted to it. My skin is going kind of like, if I see a rash, if I put that on, it will heal. And then it gets to the point where you put it on and it no longer heals, which is your skin going, I can't have any more of that.
Yeah.
So what do you do at that point? Do you know what I mean? It's like, so. And
how long could that stage last, the withdrawal, for want of a better word?
Withdrawal, I'm still going through it now. And
that's how many years we're talking, is that?
Yeah. It's been people who go through it in a year. So if that was just after my sister's wedding, is when I just completely went cold turkey. How many years has that been now? It's like two and a bit years. I know people who've been through it 10 years plus.
So it takes a very long time.
You know, like with withdrawal, so like the booze and alcoholic.
Yeah.
You can't just knock the booze on the head because the withdrawal will kill you. Did you have to taper off it? Or did you have to...
Yeah, good question. There are people who do that for really severe cases. I didn't know enough about it. I just stopped it, and I think that was probably the best. Because if not, you're just delaying the inevitable. I think if you just cut down on creams, your body's just screaming, "Stop this!" So I mean, it's referred to topical steroid withdrawal at the moment, and although my skin looks good, that's because I'm on an immunosuppressant, which they use for kidney transplants, heart transplants, anything like that. It's a transplant drug. It's very strong. It's suppressing my immune system. So at the moment, my immune system is trying to fight me to go back to that stage, and I'm just taking a drug to stop that, which isn't perfect, but it's the only way I can live.
And how long would that have to... Do you know how long that process will take?
Some people are on it for life.
For life. And is that because of the cream, it's buggered up your immune system?
Yeah. So what what the cream causes is adrenal gland failure, essentially. So I don't know if you know the adrenal gland.
Can you explain it to us, please?
Yeah, from what I know, that's all to do with your cortisol levels. So your adrenal gland is, I don't know the exact science, but it's all to do with your body processes, especially the skin as well, regulating it and making sure everything's tick-tocking. So if you've got like an allergy or something like eczema and you start putting the steroid cream on, what that's saying to your adrenal gland is, think anabolic steroids, for instance, for gym. I don't need to produce any testosterone in that case because I'm being injected with it. I don't need to produce cortisol or certain things which will help your skin and your immune system because you're putting it on. Whatever you put on your skin, it's going to your blood anyway. So it completely shuts it down. It takes a year for that to recover, but by then the damage is done. People
don't realise that about your skin, do they? Like it absorbs it. It's like a joint organ. But it's the biggest organ, and it absorbs everything, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whether you put like makeup on your face or you know, when you put water on, or your skin is phenomenal because it breathes and it absorbs.
There's actually a case over here not too long ago where a bus driver got drug tested, failed on cocaine, and he took it to court, and they found out he was handling notes.
Yeah,
and it absorbed it through his skin, and he had micro doses of cocaine within his system. Same happened to a boxer, Liam. Just fought Ben Victor. Liam. What was your name? I can't remember his second name. Anyway, it's the same with him. He got done on a boxing test for cocaine. Never touched anything in his life, and it came out that he'd been touching notes or something that had then gone through. And that's how your skin will absorb what you're touching.
Yeah.
And people have done that before, like with rubbing, with their partner, rubbing estrogen on their wife or anything, but then the man has absorbed it and been having hormonal changes. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Like those kind of things, like wearing gloves and stuff, but you don't realise the power of skin, do you?
No.
And like when lockdown was happening, I know people with eczema were having to hand sanitize all the time.
Yeah.
But I said by the end of the hands that hurt and sore.
100%.
Was it bad for you through that?
Yeah, but it to be honest, no, it wasn't too bad. I've never had issues with my hands. It's not like usual eczema where, although my hands are kind of bad at the moment, it's not like usual eczema where some people will be irritated by alcohol, stuff like that. It didn't affect me too much. This was like what I've got is completely different. I mean, when it started, when I went through like pure cold turkey, I was absolutely bedbound.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the house.
What's that like for someone who's not that, like you say, you were fit, boxing, doing that? What's that?
Destroyed me. Just completely destroyed me. I didn't even put on weight. I lost a lot of weight.
So you weren't eating on top of that?
No. I couldn't open my mouth because I had so many cracks and sores.
It just hurt.
And every time I opened my mouth, it would just open up and bleed.
On your lips and around all your...
Yeah. So my foot, I couldn't shower. So the way I'd describe it, I can show you photos after, is 3rd degree burns. It's, imagine like a leper, you know, that's literally what it is. You don't have skin, essentially,
from top to bottom.
No, so I was wrapped in bandages all the time. You can't shower because showers feel like acid on you, so you have to wash where you can with a flannel. Not ideal. You can't walk really because everything hurts to move, and I still can't move my neck all the way, and I've got such bad neck problems because I'm used to just hunching, because this is just the position I'm used to being in for best part of a year and a half. Didn't leave the house, didn't see any mates, didn't really see family unless they came over, which they did to help me, and the only way I could really survive moving into a new place was, you know, my girlfriend was being at work, was my mum coming around to do everything for me. And it was literally like mum and dad would come round and do everything for me, like I was fully disabled. Everything. Cook, clean the house, get clean clothes for me, wash clothes, make the bed, everything like a child. Do you know what I mean? I was like 28.
We've talked before, and like you say, like you're very similar to me, how brilliant your family is, haven't you? Having a great mom, dad, sister, and then obviously Jen. You're so lucky to have had these wonderful people, aren't you? To a woman who stands by your side when you're very poorly, and
when she'd not known you long either at that point, had she?
It's crazy, yeah. So we were both in the unknown, because I was like, I don't know what the hell is happening to me.
Because that could have been her life for many years, couldn't it?
Yeah, I could have literally, like, it could have been a situation where I've got this disability for life, this is it. But she and I, you know, bless her, like, how she went through that. Like, she was the one who, like, kept me. I'm here today because of her.
And like when you're the poorly person, when you're in the fight yourself, obviously we focus on ourselves because we're poorly. But it's our loved ones who stand by our side, and it's also health for them, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But love's so powerful if you get it in your life, and they're there for your good times and your bad times.
Yeah. I did a Daily Mail article when I first started, and the premise was me shouting at my girlfriend, going, "Stop looking at me," because I was that ashamed of what I saw in the mirror. No skin, nothing. I wasn't myself. Hair out, falling out, everything. And she'd like look at me like, just as you do with your partner, and I would just be like, "Don't look at me. What are you looking at?" She couldn't. Like, she used to get teary because of it. I'm like, "Don't look at me." And there's been breakups because there's been a lot of people I know, you know, with families and young children that have not stayed together because of this, because the mental toll of someone. I wasn't working. I was luckily getting sick pay for God knows how many months, and I could do a bit of remote work here and there. But I'd be in bed, go on the sofa, go back to bed. I didn't walk. I didn't do anything. And she did everything around the house if my mum and dad weren't there supporting as well. So the mental toll for her to stay with me, like, you know what I mean, is huge. And she's told me at some points, like, she was, number one, really worried about me, but also, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I mean? And I would have.
It must have been a scary future to look into, hasn't it?
Like, what have I come into? So, yeah, support was the biggest thing that got me through. But the unfortunate thing is, with this condition, a lot of people don't have that support. A lot of people don't have families that can just come around a drop of a hat, like we were saying about your mum and dad, who are like, "Don't worry, I'll sort that, or I'll look after that."
Yeah,
I've got that. I'm blessed. My girlfriend, like, she's amazing, you know, and she got me through that. Because I remember being at one point when I was in when we were living in Birmingham, and this is the lowest I've been, and not that I'd ever do it, but I can remember being in front of the fruit aisle, hood up, everything. And I was just like, "Kill me. Just kill me." She was like, "What are you saying?" You know, like, come on, man. That was the lowest I've ever been. I just remember a lot of nights crying myself to sleep because there's no hope. It's so isolating because this condition isn't recognised. So how can I go to whoever and go, "Yeah, I've got this. I've got Crohn's." Yeah. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Okay, that must be so difficult. I've got MS. Yeah. It's known. I can't go to people like, "I don't know what the hell's going on in my body." And that's why it's so isolating. Not only that, if you're ill, a normal person can go to the doctors and go, "Yeah, here you go, tick a box, that's sorted. We've had someone in with this before last week. This is the pill." They were laughing at me, gaslighting me. It doesn't exist. Take more steroids. I had no options. I had no way out. I had to find my own way out, literally in hell. And it's like that saying, you know, if you speak to the devil and you're going through hell, what does he say? He says, just keep on going that way. And that's all I could have in my mind.
That's a frightening place, isn't it? I've got fibromyalgia, and sometimes you go and they'll go like, it's like, as you say, well, get on with it. I remember in lockdown, I had them flare up, and the lady on the phone was going, do more exercise. I went, I can't get off the settee. She went, and I went, I run a boxing gym. I know it's good, but I went, are you for real? It's not like when you talk to your nan will give you nan's advice, you know, and you go, well, you don't know any better, nan. You're saying it from a good place. Yeah. But some of these professionals, it's like when you've got an eating disorder, go, stop being a pussy eater. Yeah. You should know better.
That's the scary thing. And then when I've done so much research, obviously being at home, that's all I could do on what the hell I'm going through. How can I stop this from going through, like, with other people as well? There's such a big community, and there's probably millions going through this. I was just, before this podcast, I was doing research. I was looking at, say, Japan, for instance, which has got a population of about 130 million. What percent has eczema? And it was something crazy, like, I don't know, like 10 million, something like that. And then what percentage of that has TSW? This is unknown. So every doctor will just go to a kid, take more steroids, mum and dad will go, yeah, absolutely. Until you are at death's door, going online, trying to go, please someone, like, is anyone else going through this? And then you find it. Like, God knows if my Instagram page, my TikTok, if I didn't know people going through this, oh my God, got a dread to think what's going on.
And you still don't really know the cause, do you?
No.
It's always hard to do that when you will. Hey, what do I fix?
I stopped alcohol for best part of a year. I stopped eating bread. Is it yeast? I stopped eating gluten. I stopped drinking milk. I was on oat milk for ages. I was like, this can't be right. Like, I was fine before doing all of this. So what suddenly gone bam? And the only thing it ever came back to was the steroid cream that I increased the volume of. I will say the positive that came from it, and the only thing, it's insane what your mind can do in, you know, when the chips are down and you're really you've got two options: give up. That's not in me. Or you've got the other option, which is that mountain. And I picked up a book, and it was about a guy who had been through this. I was going to bring it in, called Iron Skin. He's from Malaysia, and he just talks about how, same as me, it's all fine, traveling the world, gets a flare, gets worse, goes back to his childhood home, and he's like, I never believed I'd be back in my childhood home, in my bedroom that I had when I was 5, recovering with his mom, bringing up dinner, you know, dressing his bandages. And he started running out of nowhere. He's never ran before. He started running, and then he started running more and more and more. And he healed, and he got better, and he got a better runner, to the point that he, God knows how many Ironmans he's done now. He's healed, but he's just the strongest guy ever. And I started running. I did a half a marathon a couple of years back because of that. I ran probably 16k to 20 a day. And it was just to get my blood going and it was so painful, like the sweat, I can't tell you, like I couldn't shower at the time. So it's like, but that's what really kind of mentally helped. It meant, you know, I went through that period where I was bedbound to suddenly, I'm going to make the most out of this period. Like, I'm still really poorly, but what choice have I got? I could go back to bed and be bandaged up and just do nothing, or just do it. And yeah, it's hard to do that. It's like
I was going to say for a man, but for an adult, to feel demasculated, to feel that you have to be nurtured, is a big thing for our mental health and our ego, isn't it?
Massive.
Thinking, how have I gone so backwards and, you know, for mommy and daddy and to be looking after me.
I'm there thinking, I'm coming up to 30, I want to get really good money, provide for my family, give money back to my parents, be the leader and provider to my girlfriend. And now I've just gone, I am, a little kid. I'm a little kid. Can't do anything, not making money. You know, just gone from being a really fit and healthy young lad to losing all my weight, not going to the gym, red body. I've lost everything. You lose everything. And image was a massive thing with me. That's why I went to the gym. And it came into a point where I was going to the gym more just because of image, but it started off that way. And that's how I met my girlfriend. I wouldn't have met my girlfriend if I wasn't in that condition to be going on nights out, to have the confidence to then go up to girls.
But it's, apart from the illness, it shows, as you just said, you have to persevere with it, don't you? You've got to have that glimmer of light, that bit of love, and realising hope isn't dead. You've got to fight it, haven't you?
Yeah.
By any means, they say, whether it's getting up, having a walk, and it's getting through the other side of pain.
Smallest thing. And
I'd
suggest like walks. That's how I started before. I kind of did it too far. So I started running, which, you know, you probably don't want to do that, but just walking every night. If you can, walking in the day. I still do now. Get 500 steps and get 1,000 in here. Make it to, can you get to 10,000 steps? Brilliant. Superb. You know, that's recommended every day, isn't it? And then it's just little healthy habits like that you you build up.
And do you think exercise has been a big part of your recovery?
Massive. And it still is now.
Mentally and physically. And
yeah. Obviously, I'll come up, a box with you, which want to progress a bit more. But going to the gym now, getting back into that is just brilliant. And just,
I think you appreciate it more when you know you when you couldn't do it, and like I look at my little one who's wheelchair bound, and that makes me straight away go, like I could be running on a treadmill, it killing me, and I go, well, you know what, I can run on a treadmill. Some people can't run on that treadmill. You know, I think you also appreciate when you were at your lowest there and you felt like you had nothing. Actually, you had everything. You had your family, and you know now that whatever happens in your life, you'll have those people there to support you.
Definitely. However isolating it was, I knew that there's this massive safety net, however far away that is, and they'll always be there. So, yeah, cherish the moment kind of thing as well.
And you said it was Iron Skin, that book.
Yeah.
So if anyone is going through it, is it a good read? Is it an audio book? Is it
brilliant?
Yeah.
I think it's an audio book as well. I think it's about £12 on Amazon. Can't recommend it enough. He's got a skin condition, which I've got, but even if you haven't, I think it's coming from a place that whatever you're going through, how dark and he got very low with it. How he just one day went, I've got to do anything, like it's desperation, and he did it, and he felt 1% better even, and then the next day he felt 2% better. And it's them little gradual things, like if you are kind of at that rock bottom, you just kind of take that smallest first step, whatever. He had no support, so he was on himself. So yeah, it does take a lot within to kind of take that step, doesn't it? And just go, I'm going to do it. It's going to hurt. It's going to be horrible, but it's like anything. It's, yeah.
And to someone out there who might be going through it, or what advice would you give them? Would you? It's hard because you're not a doctor and everything. Would you, like,
I feel like one with the amount of research.
but like sometimes it's not like saying no one do steroid cream, because it works for some people, doesn't it? But what would you say? Just be wary of it all, and
I'd honestly say don't do steroid cream. I'm not the one to, you know, if someone came to me, I wouldn't go, you cannot use that. Everyone has their own choices, but
you can do what you're doing now and tell them your experience of it, wouldn't it? And
Yeah,
hopefully
I
it
think
makes people a bit
that's all
cautious.
I can do. That's all I can do. Yeah, I think, you know, if it's someone's choice, I've known people in the community that have carried it on, and I haven't gone, well, you're an awful human being, you're going to regret it. Like it's like, it is what it is. You know, we want to focus on the people that need help. We can stop things happening, whether it be to mums, dads. I get so many messages a week off mums who are like, my kid's got this, my little baby. I get so many messages from blokes in particular for just like, they reach out and say, thank you for speaking out. Like, I found your page, you were on TikTok, shows about 800,000 views, something like that, one of my videos, and I wouldn't have known about it. And they can't say anything to the mates. You know, they can't say anything. And I know that, you know, at that age, 20, like, you're going out and suddenly you've got this condition and no one understands, they'll probably laugh at you and stuff like that. To come to me and several other men in the community as well to just speak. And I'm always, I say, I'm a phone call away. Just give me a buzz. What stage are you at? Have you stopped steroid creams? No, I'm thinking about it. Okay, well, there's time for you yet. Like, how bad are you? If they have stopped in the middle of it, I'm here to support. I take phone calls all the time.
Would it, obviously, there's things like CBD oil, and would it put you off trying anything now after what you've kind of experienced? So you'd still
100%, yeah, no, definitely. I think the issue is, and it's such a bigger story, which I'm not going to go into, but you know, the biggest selling drug in the US, which is the main supplier of drugs, obviously, last year, I believe, was methotrexate, which is an immunosuppressant. So that's saying the biggest problem in the US is immune systems. And this has got, you know, more relevant recently, in recent years. Another one, Dupixent, which is an injection immunosuppressant. So it's all about suppressing your immune system. It's not getting to the cause of what is, like, what's happening intrinsically, what, you know, whether it be exercise, whether it be meditation, whether it be, you know, herbs, diet. There's so much holistic stuff that we can look at that we're not. My doctor, you know, she looks at my bloods, and what I'm on currently, cyclosporin, raises your blood pressure. I've got fine blood pressure. I don't smoke or do anything like that. And she went, this is really high. And I'm like, you haven't asked me once what my life is like outside of this little room.
Maybe I'm drinking 3,000 pints a night, or
maybe I'm going to the gym 5 days a week. Maybe I'm doing everything healthy. You take this little half-hour window as everything you've learned, it looks bad, and that comes from Big Pharma, which is your massive, you know, Pfizer that did jabs, stuff like that. It's the same companies that provide steroid cream, and it's all a money-making machine at the end of the day.
Unfortunately, it is, isn't it?
Well, it's not there to cure your problem, really, because it's a lost customer, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah.
Because, like you say, holistically, you can actually cure a lot of things. And it might not be everything. There is good drugs out there, and I think we need to recognise that.
Absolutely.
But there's also drugs won't cure everything as well.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just going from, you know,
It's like the band-aid analogy you put earlier. You're putting a band-aid on it, but it's not actually healing anything. You're just slapping something on to get you through that
100%.
that bit.
But you know, when you come off the steroids, is it going to get worse before it gets better? Is it one of those things, like she said, when you have to? Is it going to, like, say, like with the cream? Like, you've got the rash all over your arm. I know if you put the cream on, it's going to feel better for a bit. Is it going to when I stop doing the cream, is it going to get very bad before it starts to lopside?
It totally depends on what type of steroid you use. So as I mentioned earlier, there's different potencies. So if you just put it on hydrocortisone and use it every now and again, if you stopped hydrocortisone, you might have a little rash pop up, but you'll probably be sound.
Yeah.
And then it's looking at what's causing that? Is it allergies? Whatever. If you're were like me, and then the doctors start going, well, hydrocortisone doesn't work, the weak one, we're going to put you onto that one. That's not working now, we're going to put you onto that one. You get to the point that I was on, that's when you kind of have to go, this is why we've got a community, by the way, like on Instagram, TikTok, because it's like, we are here for people. You know, there's loads of charity groups, Eczema, that I ran for and raised money for. There's a whole, this is huge across dermatology in the UK. It's just passed a bill with the government across the world as well. It's just kind of going, I'm going to be in the for a bit.
Yeah.
And it is reality. If not, if you've got to that stage where steroid creams aren't working and you are really bad, that's when I'd suggest like immunosuppressants like I'm on, because you need to live your life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be forever, touch wood.
Yeah.
But, you know, you need a break, because otherwise you break. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I needed.
Who are these? Are like online forums? Is there any out there that you've used personally, or that you can post?
Yeah, I mean, me and my mate set up a WhatsApp group, which has already got like nearly 200 members, I think. That's just people globally. Facebook, there's tens of thousands of members in certain groups.
Have you got any groups off the top of your head if anyone's listening to this?
Seriously, I think if anyone's listening to this, TikTok, and you just type in on the search bar either topical steroid withdrawal, topical steroid addiction, red skin syndrome, or the abbreviations of that, so TSW, TSA, you will get all the people that are going through that, their links, conversations going, and groups off that. That's probably the best way to start, somewhere like doing a hashtag on TikTok.
That's great advice, because it's horrible when you're on your own and you feel alone. And as you say, we're embarrassed about our bodies and we're frightened and we're worried. So if you've got like-minded people who've been through the same journey you've been through, then you can pick their brain saying, how did you get through, or what do I expect, or is it going to get better, is it going to get worse?
100%.
That's so comforting, isn't it?
It is. And to have people at the same stage as you as well, like in anything, if you had any problem, like it's great to see the people that have come through, because that's what's going to push you to go, it is achievable. But also people at your stage, like, you know, I'm in the biggest struggle at the moment. Oh, okay, me too. How are you coping? Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Okay, have you tried this? And you bounce off each other and you form a bond because of that. You know, it's that community feel. It's like, it is like a small community, isn't it? It's like, with anything like that, it's like this boxing club, for instance. It's like a small village that are all on the same wavelength. They might be going through very similar things, and it's just like helping each other out, giving each other advice, or just being there for each other and going through. We're both going through this.
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Yeah. That's a lovely way of looking at it, isn't it?
It is. It is very much so.
Well, is there anything else you want to say about this?
I think if anyone's got any questions or worries or anything, you know, you can leave my contact details. I can put my Instagram, stuff like that, my account. Follow me as well.
Do you want to say that there for people who are listening to on our podcast?
I'll have to get it up.
Well, while he's doing that, we're releasing something from the 1st of December. This is me, this is us. Because we know Christmas is a great time of the year for so many of us. It's also a bloody tough time for so many. People who can't see their families, who have lost their families, who are sick. And so every day we're going to be releasing a different side of it. This is me on a good day, this is me on a bad day. So stay tuned on. It's going to be on all our social medias. Please share, be a part of it. And we've had some brilliant people from different boxing clubs, Priory Park, The Junction, Tough Enough to Care, John Collins. We've had Dave Stokes from Suicide Prevention. We've had some great people on. So please share and be a part of it. And let's make this December not only good, let's be there for each other. So have you got your details, bro?
I have indeed, yeah. DWNR5 is my TikTok. So
one more time again.
DWNR5.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, because as I say, credit to you, brother, for coming on, talking about something that's so comfortable to talk about, but by having these conversations, it gives other people the strength to have the conversations themselves.
It's a bit of a weird topic, isn't it? I guess, like skin, but I think it, this will come out in the future, and it's good to get it early, and talk about it now. So there's so much support in the future when people are going through this, that we've discussed it. Plans are in place. Hopefully, there's new medication, stuff like that. But it's just good that, thank you for getting me on.
So we're going to finish with, as we always do, have you got any positive quotes or sayings that have helped you get through life?
You have to come back to me on that one.
You said you had a couple at the start.
They've
vanished.
I think a lot of in the iron skin, but there's so many quotes, like Indian proverbs and stuff. I think one, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's stuff to do with just going through it, and like when you have your darkest days, they don't last.
But that is it. It's reminding yourself. I love the saying, "This too shall pass," and it's
a meditation form, isn't it? It's like you've got that grey cloud above you, and it's kind of going, whether it be a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever it be, that cloud will move on, and there'll be sun here or something else a bit brighter than that, and it's just persisting with that.
Well, brother, once again, thank you ever so much for coming on, guys. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned, because it's getting released December the 1st. It's going to be every day through December. This is me, this is us. So until we see each other next time, I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other. Ta-ra a bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.